Get ready for this Dodgy driver compilation video where we showcase some of the most shocking and reckless drivers caught on UK roads. Thanks to the 4 million dashcams on the roads and operations run by police forces and local authorities across the country, these jaw-dropping moments are a stark reminder of just how many dodgy drivers there are out there. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Your support means a lot to our team of former emergency services personnel, and it helps us keep bringing you great content. And if you're interested in the work of the emergency services, be sure to sign up for our free newsletter. You'll find the link in the video description. When an Audi driver tossed rubbish as a Tesla, they probably never considered the 8 exterior cameras watching their every move. This incident is just one of many where drivers have been caught in the act, thanks to the ever-present eyes of dash and cycle cams. Like this BMW driver who was caught on Dashcam trying to race the driver of an Audi. The driver of this HGV was caught on a cycle cam driving way too close to this cyclist. However, the tables turned when this cyclist took on the role of a traffic enforcement officer when they stopped to record the motorist behind the wheel of this Vauxhall Corsa, who was using their mobile phone in standstill traffic. Next up, the driver of this white van ended up being fined after passing this cyclist way too close on a busy road. The driver of this tarted up Seat Leon was using the motorway as his personal racetrack, but ended up getting a Section 59 warning from the police once the footage was sent off. If he drives like this again, then the police will take his vehicle away from him. And if you have a tendency to run a red light, then remember you are probably being recorded on someone else's dashcam. By the way, if you are thinking about joining the fight against dodgy drivers and you don't have a dashcam or helmet cam yet, then be sure to check out our Amazon store. We'll leave a link pinned in the comments. Anything you do buy on Amazon after clicking on the link will help out our page and our website as well as our YouTube channel. This is what happens when you attempt an overtake without properly scanning the road ahead. A critical skill blue light drivers call keeping your vision up. As the cyclists made their way down this road, albeit riding unusually in the middle of the lane, the driver of a silver Mercedes attempted an overtake. However, they clearly hadn't accounted for the keep left traffic island up ahead. Due to their poor judgment, the Mercedes driver was forced to swerve onto the wrong side of the road to avoid it. It proved to be a costly error. The cyclist submitted the footage to local authorities and the driver of the Mercedes was charged with careless driving. The consequences? Well, a hefty fine of nearly £600 and 5 penalty points added to their driving licence. The driver of this Mitsubishi almost rammed the cam car off the road, and all because they nearly missed their junction. That dodgy manoeuvre cost them nearly £250 in fines and 6 points on their driving licence. The driver of this blue car completely stuffed up on an overtake. When the driver of the Saab refused to let the blue car back in, it nearly had a head-on. That move cost them nearly £500 in fines and 5 points on their driving licence. Maybe the driver of the blue car will think twice before doing a dodgy overtake like that. Us bikers love a good ride, but this riding left this biker with a sore wallet after he was fined nearly £450 and had his licence endorsed with 3 penalty points. Yet again, here we have a dodgy overtake caught on dashcam that nearly resulted in a head-on collision. £200 and 7 points later, do you think the driver learnt their lesson? Those double white lines that you see in the middle of the road are there for a reason, and that reason is to stop people from pulling off dangerous manoeuvres like this one. This near lights out moment ended up with the driver being gifted 5 points on their licence and relieved of £200. And finally, when the driver of this BMW decided to overtake a vehicle that was passing a parked car, then they nearly ended up in a ditch. The driver was fined nearly £200 and had their driving licence endorsed with 4 points. Captured on a cyclist camera, the driver of this Peugeot narrowly avoided forcing a cyclist off the road. In a misjudged overtake, the driver came alarmingly close to knocking the cyclist over. The driver of the Peugeot was prosecuted for careless driving. They ended up being fined £572 and had their driving licence endorsed with 5 penalty points. But what do you think of the outcome here? Is a fine of nearly £600 and 5 points on their driving licence a bit harsh? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Keep your eye on this vehicle because the driver is about to pull off a dodgy manoeuvre that will end up with them getting 4 points on their driving licence and a fine of nearly £400. Despite the fact that these pedestrians were using the pavement at the time, the driver of the van couldn't be bothered to hang around for the extra few seconds that it took for the cars in front of him to pull forward. As you can imagine, the two pedestrians were not impressed. The male raises his hand towards the driver of the van, clearly surprised that the driver decided to mount the pavement right next to them. Thankfully, there was an expert witness on hand in the form of a dashcam that was fitted in the car behind the dodgy driver. Once the footage was sent off, the dodgy driver found out a short time later that their dodgy driving had been caught on dashcam. Keep an eye on this HGV to the right of the screen because the driver is just about to pull off a dodgy manoeuvre that will end up costing him nearly £1,000 in fines and 3 points on his licence. The HGV shouldn't even be in lane 3 in the first place. But watch as the driver cuts up the vehicle that was in lane 2, moving just inches in front of them as the whole incident is caught on dashcam. As this dodgy driving happened in Essex, the driver in the cam car sent the dashcam footage off to Safer Roads Essex. Once the footage was reviewed, the driver of the HGV was processed for careless driving. He ended up being fined £915 and was given 3 penalty points on their driving licence. This was the moment when Tesla's autopilot, specifically the auto steer function, activated just in time to swerve left and avoid a head-on collision with an oncoming drunk driver. Thankfully, the driver of the Tesla was not seriously injured. Let's take a closer look at the onboard dashcam footage in slow motion. You can see the exact millisecond when Tesla's autopilot makes a precise, potentially life-saving adjustment to the steering. Despite a sharp right bend in the road, the auto steer function detects the oncoming threat, instantly shifting the car left, just enough to dodge a head-on collision. This split-second correction highlights the remarkable technology Tesla employs to read the road, react to hazards and protect those inside. On the 15th of October, emergency services received multiple 999 calls about a suspected drunk driver. Just moments later, that same driver crashed into another vehicle. Responding officers from Vanguard's road safety team arrived on the scene and arrested the driver, who later tested 1.3 times over the legal limit with a urine sample reading of 149. After failing to appear in court, a warrant was issued for the drunk driver's arrest. In court, the driver was eventually banned from driving for 12 months and was given £420 in fines, costs and surcharges. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter. We've left the link on the screen in front of you now, or you can head to the link in the video description. And please don't forget to check out our Amazon store if you want to help support our video content. You'll find the link for that pinned in the comments below.